Corey.
Marcel, thank you so much. Here to give us more insights on exactly how big of a moment this truly is our own all-star roster here. We have Wade Davis, former NFL player and director of You Can Play, Mike Bako, sports editor for DailyNational.com, and Dr. Leah Lagos, a sports psychologist. And I want to start with Wade and Michael, and I want you to look at that moment when Callins takes the court and talk about how big that moment truly is, because there are people that are drawing parallels to Jackie Robinson taking the field back in 1947. Is that an accurate parallel, do you think? I'll start with you, Wade.
I think it's not as accurate, but I think it's pretty close. You know, his visibility really helps to reshape our ideas of what gay men are. You know, I think for historically, like, we've been kind of in a very narrow, in a small box, but now that box is much wider now.
Okay, what do you think?
I think it's tough to put it in the same category as Jackie Robinson. When Jason Callins checked in last night, he received not a standing ovation, but polite applause and cheers, other players giving him high fives. When Jackie Robinson took the field, he was faced with death threats and racial epithets.
So it's a different thing.
It's a different thing.
There are people that are saying this is the same, but you both agree this is a different thing.
It's a different thing. Yeah.
Okay, Doctor, a question for you. I read something interesting this morning. Athlete Ally, they're a nonprofit, and they put out a statement about Callins being on the court, and they said Jason Callins and the Nets making history like this is literally helping to save lives. And they say for generations, countless LGBT youth have lacked gay role models in sports. Do you believe that Callins on the court is saving lives, Doctor?
This is a significant social issue. We look at sports as our heroes, our role models, and setting forth a new precedent for accepting gays and lesbians in the sport organization environment.
So do you think lives could be saved? Do you think there are young people out there that, because again, we've seen time and time again young people taking their own lives because they aren't quite comfortable in their skin, or they feel bullied or whatnot. Do you think that this could change that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think?
You know, there's an old adage that you can never become what you don't see. Yeah. Now young athletes who are LGBT can see their stars play on TV now.
Yeah, and your story is interesting because, of course, you came out, but it was after you left the NFL. And we've talked about this before, that when you were playing, you were really coming to terms with who you were.
Exactly, yeah. I dealt with so much internalized homophobia and shame that I wasn't ready to come out while I was playing, but I think that as young people start to see more visibility as far as individuals who are LGBT, they'll come out sooner, they'll love themselves sooner, all those things.
So you think lives could be saved too then?
Oh, definitely.
All right, let's talk about the actual game and his actual play. 11 minutes, no points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. How was that?
And 5 fouls. And when you think about that stat line to someone just watching, like, well, what's the big deal about that? But that's exactly why the Nets got him. They got him for his smarts. They got him for his toughness. He just came in basically off the street, and yet they put him in there for 10 minutes. Jason Kidd, the head coach of the Nets, knows that he could put him in any situation because of his smarts, because of his experience, that he's going to flourish in any scenario that they put him in.
Mike, you signed a 10-day contract. You can sign another 10-day after that. After that, you're either dropped or you have to sign a longer-term deal. Where do you think this goes?
I think it really just goes, where the Nets want it to go in terms of their playoff push, where they see a need for him. If he's putting in 10 minutes a game, game in and game out, I think we're going to see another 10-day contract, and we may be seeing him playing in the playoffs against LeBron James, against Paul George, and people like that. You know,
it's interesting. As we wrap up this conversation, I want to just sort of look at the big picture here and at sports in general, and this tide that seems to be changing in sports, of course, with the NFL, with the NBA. It seems like a culture change really is happening this year and, of course, part of last year. What do you think?
I think sports is leading the way. I'm a person who always thinks that sports isn't a homophobic space. I think that now that we're seeing that on a larger scale.
What do you think?
I think the train is moving, and I think if there are voices in the locker room that want to speak out against this, I think that they're going to be the ones that are going to be shunned. They're going to be left at the station. It's going. There's acceptance. There's players. There's embracing of that, and if they're not on that, publicly on that train, they're going to be left behind.
Doctor?
This is a player with an earned reputation of credibility, of being a strong presence in the locker room, and I think that's what we're going to see shifting towards Jason Callins as a teammate, as an athlete, as a contributor, and not just as a gay athlete. And there's a lot of excitement right now because of the social significance.
And he's 1-0.
Yeah. That's right. You want to know? There you go. Gentlemen and Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here. Very interesting conversation. And you're right, this is making news, but at one day, this won't make news. One day, this will just be another athlete taking the court. Thank you all so much for being here. Suki.